Good afternoon. Casey Durango here of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you might be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life. Grandmother clock gonging in the background. It might be time to talk about keto. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your afternoon. And I hope everyone who's hearing my voice is well. That's the first thing. We are well here. We are healthy. Our children and their families are healthy, taking adequate precautions, taking things seriously. And it's a beautiful day here in my part of the world. But as the title of this live stream indicates, not every day is great. And frankly, my last, not 24 hours, 12 hours have been 16 hours. Not great. Been bad. We're all healthy. It's just one of those things. And we all have days like this. And this is a pretty bad day for me. I'm a pretty upbeat, optimistic, hopeful person. At least I have been over the last 6 years. I'd gotten to the point when I was a sugar burner and I was obese and heading towards type 2 diabetes and felt uncomfortable within my own skin. I had lost that optimism and upbeatedness. But mostly I've had it back now. But some days are just rotten. So for me to have a bad day, it's a pretty bad day. And it's been a bad day. Let me tell you the difference between a bad day now for me and a bad day 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago. And for the 20 years prior to that. Through circumstance, I made an early morning run to the grocery store where they had curbside pickup. I didn't have to touch the groceries. I, covered my face, as did the person at the store. I wore gloves. They said, "May I sign for you?" "Yes, you may." We practiced physical distancing. When I got home, unloaded the car. Now, it was already bad because it started yesterday and it just spilled through the night. It was just one of those horrible, makes you sick to your stomach when you're so upset type of thing. I mean, I wasn't sick to my stomach, but it just, like a knot in your stomach. So I unloaded the groceries. Unbeknownst to me, the store had a little promotion where they put a little goodie bag in, and there were little promotional items in it. One of the promotional items was a bag, previous life, my sugar burning, unhappy, overweight, type 2 diabetes leaning, couldn't stop thinking about food, used food as for everything. It was my everything. It was my consolation. It was my treat. It was my reward. It was my revenge. It was everything. I would have whipped up that package of Idahoan mashed potato buds with a bunch of butter and milk and eaten the whole thing. Right here in the kitchen in the morning on a Saturday morning. Because if I was, in the frame of mind I was at the time this morning and presented with free mashed potatoes, absolutely. There's no question in my mind. And I would have done it in secret. This morning I said, and all the other things that came in the whole promotional thing, I just put them in the stack of things I have to donate when we can start donating things again. A fantastic day. Because what would have happened 6 years ago? Looks like my connection is unstable. I apologize if there's jitteriness. Can you guys still see and hear me? I'll just keep talking and hope so. Technology, we love it. And on top of everything else, the night before that, our power went out for nearly 24 hours and the temperature dropped 40 degrees and our furnace was out. That was okay. That didn't bother me. I mean, that happens. We have a generator. We're fortunate. And I sat by our gas logs. But anyway, it's just been a weird 48 hours, okay? It's been weird. Frankly, my last 2 weeks have been weird. Just odd. For me. But anyway, if the scenario I described, mad, angry, irritated, embarrassed, whatever that it might have been, to make the crudiness. I would have said to myself, I can't even make it till 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning without eating mashed potatoes. What is wrong with me? I apologize for this light that is flickering. We need to replace this fixture. So you're not having a stroke. That is this light flickering. I apologize. The moral of the story is, if hunger is not the problem, food is not going to fix it. A cruddy day will still be a cruddy day. And it might be cruddier if we eat the food that does not serve us well. For me, mashed potatoes would not serve me well. They would disserve me. They would make me feel awful and sick and like a failure. Whatever is upsetting you, talking to a friend or getting a therapist or punching the heavy bag or whatever else there is, food won't fix it unless hunger's the problem. And if hunger's not the problem, that doesn't mean you're having a cruddy day. It means you need to eat. I'm usually asked, this is hashtag Casey's pink drink, glass filled with ice, about that much diet tonic water, a splash of diet cranberry, and a squeeze of lime. I'm asked often. It's very refreshing, and it helps me when I'm talking a lot. Cough went down the wrong way, not a COVID cough. Okay, I'm going to turn. Okay, so may I ask you, because I hear this a lot, I hear from a lot of people, random people who message me and wonder how to deal. I was doing great, and then I got stressed out because, and then you can just fill in the blank for whatever the stressor was. My father got sick. My kids moved back in with me from college because we all have to live together now. People are going through stress right now. There is no doubt. Even those of us who are not directly affected yet. Sadness is a stressor, and I'm sad for people. I'm concerned for small businesses. I'm concerned for those people in my family, like my kids, and their jobs that are impacted. Everyone's doing fine. Everyone is fine. But it makes you sad. We are fortunate to have resources for right now to ride this thing out. But sadness is a stressor. So, but me eating mashed potatoes will not help anyone who's laid off, other than maybe the mashed potato manufacturer. But my eating the mashed potatoes will not help that laid off mashed potato person. Does that make sense? We will always, and I've made videos about this. I made one about 3 weeks ago before everything exploded. What do you do when life comes at you? Life always comes at us. The metaphor then being, it's like the ocean. It always comes at us, wave after wave after wave. Sometimes the waves are small and it's slow, and sometimes the waves are breakers and it's high tide. And we need to learn to deal with that. Some people are great, adept at grabbing a surfboard and jumping on top of the crest of the huge wave that's coming at them. And they ride it back to shore safely. Some of us get knocked over. We need to learn to deal with the waves. We need to learn to float. As we say, one doesn't drown because one can't swim. One drowns because one can't think. This happens to be mega proportions. Another thing is, if we're concerned about getting sick, the best thing we can do is stay healthy, right? I mean, it's simplistic. The best thing we can do is stay as healthy as we can be. And for what that looks like for me and for my household is keeping our carbs to a level where we are burning fat for fuel and not glucose or sugar. That helps keep inflammation down. People who are at higher risk for mortality if they contract the virus have diabetes, hypertension, smokers, and cancer. Cancer can't always do anything about. but we can really try to regulate our blood sugar. We can certainly try to get our blood pressure down. We can give up smoking. If you're a smoker, never been a better time to stop. So the best thing we can do is keep our defenses strong so that our defenses aren't off fighting type 2 diabetes and arthritis and acid reflux and irritable bowel syndrome and all the other inflammatory things that are going on. But our defenses are ready to fight off the virus, protect us from the virus. The best way to recover is to not get sick. The best way to deal with type 2 diabetes is not get it. If you get it, the best thing to do is lay off the carbs. And you're still going to have bad days. I'm the luckiest person you will ever meet. You can ask just about anyone. And I believe that my children would attest that we're a pretty lucky family. She knocks on her non-wood countertop. Knocks on her head. But there are still awful days. Sometimes we make our own awful days. Sometimes we just step in it. Something hits us sideways and we don't think before we speak. Sometimes the eclipse, stuff comes at us and we don't handle it well. And that's more like what my experience over the last 3/4 of a day have been. Something not of my own creating happened, and I didn't handle it well. I did not cover myself in glory. It'll be okay. It'll pass. Mashed potatoes wouldn't have helped. I'm going to turn my attention to you lovely commenters. By the way, a little plug. Wednesday, this coming week, is the next Wednesday Wine Day with Amy Berger and me. We were doing, as my friend Michelle says, she and I were doing virtual cocktail hours before it was cool. So Wednesday Wine Day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, the wonderful Amy Berger and the fantastic me get together. Bring your beverage of choice or no beverage. Be in your jammies. She's in her place. I'm in my place. You're in your place. And it's on Crowdcast just like this. So there you are. Lee writes, wine, this will help. Beautiful, but cold today. It's wrong going from the 80s to the 50s. Yeah. Been weird on the East Coast, I know. So you guys are talking to each other. Hey, Peg, happy Easter, Casey. May you be blessed with continued good health. And back to you. Thank you. I am blessed with continued good health. Hey, Nance, high tide feels like slowly drowning. We're not going to do that, though, Nance. Going to float. Going to float. Going to float. And if you feel like you're about to go under, call for help and someone will send you a life raft. Seriously. My Patreon group is a support group. That's what it is. That's the whole reason it exists. Is a private place for people to support each other. So happy things that are happening or saying I'm struggling, talk me off the ledge, somebody. By the way, we have backyard chickens and I thought I was all that because, I have chickens and every now and again I haul about 5 gallons worth of chicken feed from the container where it's stored to the hopper for the chickens to eat. I think, I'm a farmer. Within about 2 minutes, 2 patrons posted from different states that they had just birthed calves. They actually are farmers or ranchers, whatever that's called. And one did it in a snowstorm. So I'm not much of a farmer. People lead interesting lives. Hey, Mona Tufan. Mona, so good to see you. She's part of the club. You can see her little coffee cup from Istanbul. So Mona writes, it's banned for everyone to go out this week in all big cities in Turkey. I just read that. It's a 48-hour curfew, right? Bread shops go around the neighborhoods and shout out loud, who wants bread? People go down and buy 1 or 2. It's like the old days, right? Push carts would go and people would come to the push carts. You turn in your rags or you get your milk, vegetables. That's not great. I'm sorry that you're having to go through that, but I'm glad that the country is taking it very strong. Cynthia writes, voice and visual good here in Williamsburg, VA. Great. Libby 101A, happy Easter from Kentucky. What to shoot for, right? And we will have bad days, and it is important to be grateful. And I am grateful. I'm just mad. I'm just ticked off. I'm ticked off at the situation and I'm ticked off at myself. We need farmers. Yes, we do. LG writes, we all need a smile day. What makes you smile? For me, it's the happy birds in my yard this morning. I was just talking we had a patron only live stream earlier, and I started listing off all the types of birds in our back garden. It's fantastic. And I highly recommend if you feed the birds and don't want to feed the squirrels, there's a brand of bird feeder called Brome, Brome. They are actually squirrel proof. We have 5 of them. I bought one. You can see the squirrels. They just can't get to the feed. And we bought several different types. So I highly recommend it. Ketogenic. I'm with Michelle. Baby goats are adorable. I told you that we saw one day my husband and I were watching television. I just couldn't take any more of the news. We don't watch the news. I just couldn't take any more. Even commercials now on streaming. And they're positive commercials. We're here to help. We'll, keep said we can stick together. But, it's just like, okay, it's a reminder every time that this is going on. So I decided to watch a documentary about puppies. Don't do that. And one of the stories, the people not only had puppies, they had baby pygmy goats. And I said, oh man, I would love to have like 3 baby pygmy goats. And my husband looked at me and said, don't even think about it. Libby 101A writes, I'm very thankful for coming across one of your videos about 2 years ago and learning about this lifestyle. It's a life changer for a lot of people. It was for me. Let me make sure this is not one of my kids. It is. Wait, hold please. Okay, that's okay. Not emergency. Not emergency. Peg writes, I have perhaps a dumb question. No such thing. Oh, wait a minute. I said that would be like Crowdcast. This is YouTube. I'm sorry. Amy Berger and I, Wednesday Wine Day is not YouTube. It is Crowdcast. Sorry about that. A dumb question. Why do you keep your eggs? Why do you keep your eggs refrigerated? Guess I'm not a chicken farmer. I don't have them refrigerated. Do you mean why do you not keep them refrigerated? Because you can see they're here. Because for super fresh eggs, which these are, don't need to be refrigerated. When they're laid, they have what's called a bloom on them. It's actually protective, and it's like a sealant. Eggs you get in the store very often are 5-6 weeks old, and often they've been scrubbed, and the bloom has been washed off. So that means they're more porous. Air can get in. So they need to be refrigerated. These can stay like this, unscrubbed, for weeks on the counter. That is not a dumb question. Lee writes, Kyle the Rooster posts some funny chicken, turkey, and duck daily videos. Puts me in a good mood. I admire people who can post daily videos. Eesh. Turn off TV off here too. Yeah, we don't have cable headlines, and then a couple of others, and then I stop, and then I don't do anything else, and I don't get on social media very much. I do for my people, but that's it. Then I look again at night, and that's it. Because frankly, there's nothing I need to know right now except stay inside if I can. Wear a mask, guys. Cover your face. Bandanas will do. Practice physical distancing, but not social distancing. We need to reach out to each other. Wash your hands a lot and be careful. Stay healthy. When Michelle writes, when the goats prance and kick their legs out to the side, I die. They are so cute. And these little pygmy goats. Shell F writes, a good tip. Baby pygmy goats in pajamas. Peg, yes, I goofed up. I got it now. Yes, okay. Are fainting goats a real thing? Yes, they are. Fainting goats are a real thing. Why do they faint? I don't know. Maybe it's an inner ear thing. I don't know. And don't touch your face. Yes, don't touch your face. Now, if you've washed your hands, you can touch your face all you want. You don't touch your face because, but scrub. Peg writes, thank you for all your good advice. I pray this is all over soon. I don't know about soon, but it'll be over. It will be over. Hopefully in time for Dr. Westman's keto retreat in January. Link below. And by the way, my patrons get a discount that I'm underwriting. Hopefully that'll be ready in Beaufort, North Carolina. We had so much fun on the first one, but it will be over soon. Of course, we had to cancel our Go Keto with Casey Alaska cruise. But all cruises, the poor cruise line industry. Ready for wine day. Since we are contained, since we're separated, yes. And the nice thing about Crowdcast, which is what that is, you can go, when you register, you can enter questions early under Ask a Question, and you can type them in. Also, we did a Durham support group meeting online with Dr. Westman last week, and we may do another one for May because we can't do it in person. And he's been doing these for like 10 years. So that will be a registered event as well. And Michelle writes, oh, yeah, it'll be over by then. Mwah, from your lips. Zayonara T, does wine slow down my progress on keto? It depends on your progress on keto. I've enjoyed spirits and dry wines the whole time. I've not, one 10-day period, I said, I'm just going to see what happens. And nothing really happened. I didn't change anything. But no, wine is okay. What it does is our liver must process fat burning. But so don't over imbibe. And keep in mind, when we eat less and weigh less, our tolerance for alcohol may change. Mine certainly has. Nancy Fennell writes, here's hoping we can cheer you up as you always cheers up. You know what? I am already feeling better. I told myself I'm not going to do the YouTube. I'm not in a fit frame of mind. I'm ticked off. I'd just rather go pout. And I thought, no. First of all, I was obligated and happy to do so, a patron-only live stream at 10 a.m. So I did that, and that helped. But I'd already made the decision I would do this because he thought, no, this is real life. It's awful. Some of it is very dramatic, and some of it is less dramatic. It's just silly, or it's just chip on your shoulder type of stuff, or it's ornery, or it's unlucky. But that's what it is. And I don't want anyone to ever think that my life is perfect. Yikes. It's about as close as I could ever hope for. But the question is, what do you do on those days when it's rotten? You keep doing the thing that serves you and don't do the thing that doesn't. Food would be a distraction. It would be a failure on my part if I did that. It would be a failure on my part because that would be me making a rotten decision on a rotten day. Don't need to do that. Don't compound things. Don't make it worse. You know? Mona asks, some doctors, do they have an opinion about how long this pandemic continues? Do they guess something? Actually, I will tell you that Dr. Westman is pretty serious about his initiative to cover all faces. He is distributing masks. He is helping coordinate stitchers to sew masks. They are getting paid. He wants people to reach out to our government, local government, state government, to make it a requirement. You go out in public, you cover your face. It's not to keep us from getting sick so much as the thing is, and I posted a picture, hashtag, I protect you, you protect me. It's so simple. Throw an old t-shirt over your face if that's all you've got. Clean it first, but do that. And he describes it as it's a hurricane coming, and we're not there yet. It's not yet on shore. So he's anticipating the peak. I think he said for his area, probably, or maybe not a peak, but a huge uptick next week. And for my area, which is about an hour away, maybe the week after that. But no, they really don't know. This is a big guessing game. I mean, they've got statistics, but who knows? Mona writes, thanks, Michelle. The uncertainty is most unbearable thing. If you know the light, the length, it might be easier counting days. And Michelle is on the front line. She's a nurse in the largest hospital in Western Michigan. Michelle, have you guys started taking patients from Detroit yet? Twyla, hi Twyla. I see so many patrons here. Thank you. Writes, When I feel bad, I call a family member or a friend. Keeping in touch with people I love always makes me feel better. This is another thing I feel for people who naturally feel isolated in their lives, just in a normal time. And then there are people who are anxious. And then there are people who are germaphobes. Can you imagine being a person who feels isolated and anxious and is a germaphobe right now? Oh, this must be awful. Okay. Thank you. I had to just, my producer's not here, so I needed to do something with the commenter. I was disappointed that our CDC was so slow to embrace the mask for everyone. Well, that's over. Moving forward, we can do. We don't have to have the CDC tell us what to do. We can do it ourselves. Like, we don't want to wait for anyone to, the entire government to say yes, go low carb, lay off grains, because that's not going to happen. Okie dokie. So Michelle responds, no, just one. That means a patient from Detroit. But curve is flattened here. We have not been hit hard. It will be interesting to analyze this afterwards. Okay, Nancy. Hey, Nancy Curtis, another person working the front lines, working hospice as a nurse. She's Casey, what are you going to do with all those fabulous eggs? Are you being creative? Not yet. I had been selling them, but the people to whom I sold them were kind of sequestered, or one person's out of state right now. I'm going to pickle them. I say that every week. Jen from Minnesota recommended that I pickle them. I've never done that. I'm now giving more and more to Jack in a lot of recipes, but they're so pretty. They're not used to that. I've heard you can freeze eggs as well. I've been told that it's best to separate the yolks and the whites to do it. I don't know. I might experiment with that. Worst thing that happens is it goes right into Jack's food. And Nancy writes, true. I didn't wait for the CDC. I'm responsible for my own well-being. We are, to a large degree, we all are responsible for our own health. Lucky Jack. Yes, Jack is lucky. I'm lucky to have Jack. So, does anyone have, Lori, liquor stores are also open. Forgot for some reason, but happy they are. Oh, actually, one of our state senators has done a great job of putting information out on Reddit, a local Reddit. And they explain, because the question was, why are the ABC stores open? North Carolina's been on stay at home, businesses shut down. They did it. We did it rather early. The governor did that rather early. So non-essential businesses are closed. People complain about their hair. I don't worry about my hair. I worry about my hairdresser. Whew, poor thing. She's been doing my hair for 30 years. But someone asked, why are the ABC stores open? Alcohol Beverage Control Board, which is what it's called in North Carolina. And only the state runs those. It can sell alcohol. And the answer was emergency room. And they don't need people in the emergency room any more than they've already caught. So that was the answer here in North Carolina. And I thought that was a very direct answer. Oh, you've been without eggs for 2 daggone weeks? I don't understand why chicken is not available. Was at Costco yesterday. That's the first time I've ventured into Costco in weeks anyway, because I don't go shopping very often. But you can't get chicken breast or chicken thighs. You can get chicken drumsticks, and that's limited to one package. So I don't know why chicken, but that's the way it is. Nance writes, our pot shops are open in Washington. We don't have those in North Carolina yet. I'm guessing here it would say to keep people from withdrawing. Yeah, that's exactly it. He said chemical dependence. They're trying to keep people out of the emergency rooms. And Twyla writes, since I live alone, my dog, Caden, is my loving companion during this shutdown. Uh, yeah. Cynthia writes, can't get no chicken breasts or chicken thighs, chicken drumsticks. I did go ahead and get a chicken, which they use the chickens they use for their own rotisserie chicken. You can get rotisserie chicken at Costco. So I got one and my husband portioned it. Just because, we occasionally like to eat chicken. Mona writes, our cat is very happy in these days because everyone is at home all the time. My daughter homeschooling from her computer. My husband works from home. So are you. Okay. Well, everyone together. My routine has not appreciably changed because I work from home. My husband is to the clients that this get wrapped up. So he's out, but he's taking precautions. By the way, I posted a video of a picture of myself in a mask doing a peace sign. Get a little bit of pushback. People are, why are you wearing an N95? Well, it's not a medical N95. It's a construction grade N95, which is not medical. And my husband has always had them because he works grinding and sanding and ripping out plaster, and there's sawdust and particles all over. So he just gave me one. He just happened to have some. So I'm not hogging PPE for medical uses. And I will wear a bandana if I need to. Okay. Does anyone have a question for me? I kind of backed off the last couple of weeks of talking about keto specifically because I thought that almost feels trite. But no, why not? We need to stay strong. We need to stay strong, particularly on cruddy days, on days that are not our best days. And life will always have stress and angst and loss and sorrow and feeling like it's dark. But then the sun always comes out. This is the human condition. We wouldn't have to worry about this if we were the tufted titmice that come to my bird feeder, or the squirrels that eat under the bird feeder. They don't have to worry about it. They just go about their business. But we know too much. Some of us think we know too much, and then we don't really know that much. Thank you. Diana's health motivation. You're such an inspiration. Well, thank you. And thank you. Excuse me. Thank you for those kind words. Joan B writes, on keto, waking up at night feeling hungry. Is that a question? Now, I will be peckish when I wake up, which just means a little bit empty. I've got to get something to eat. I'm a fat burner. Now, you say you're on keto. Are you a fat burner or a sugar burner? Do you know? Because people think they're on keto and they're doing 60 grams of carbohydrate a day, and they're not really burning fat for fuel. They're still burning glucose for fuel. And so your brain can tell you you're hungry. But I can certainly I do go for longer without wanting to eat. My appetite is suppressed. Not only my hunger, but my actual appetite. So I would first ask you, are you burning fat for fuel? Michelle writes, it's not tried at all. We don't need to gain the crowd. We don't need to gain the COVID-15 like people are doing. Thank you. That's great. Don't gain the COVID-15. That's brilliant, Michelle. You are so smart, right? A lot of people are doing this. All I'm doing is eating because I'm here in the house. That's still a decision. It's still a decision to put the food in the mouth, right? We are not being force-fed anything. And it sucks, but we still have to make decisions for ourselves. We are still in charge of those decisions. Sometimes we want to turn over that responsibility for decision-making to a situation. Well, I wouldn't have done it, but this happened. I wouldn't have eaten it, but so-and-so brought me a cake. You still don't have to eat the cake. You can say, thank you so much. Let me cut you a slice, friend. And here, take some home to your family. Shell writes, Okay, you're burning fat for fuel. Well, if you're waking up in the middle of the night hungry, which I don't know of any, I've never heard of that, eat more food. If you're hungry, eat. Eat more before you go to bed. If it's just peckishness, because I can stay at the same level of peckishness for many hours. And it's only if I start to have really intrusive thoughts of food, really intrusive, like I'm doing this and like, oh, I really better eat something. Then I eat. Not every day. Some days I eat when I'm not at that level. I eat because it smells so delicious, but not usually. I'm pretty much at the I don't eat if I'm not hungry. I don't eat non-keto foods. Full stop. I've had a couple of incidents with smokehouse almonds and mixed nuts and peanuts, but that has been staggered over many months, and it happens like, and it's not a free for all. It's just, oh wow, why did I eat nuts? Okay, I'm looking. Lee writes, make a bread pudding with the eggs. Casey slaps me. You are absolutely right. I will not be making a bread pudding. You naughty, naughty Lee. Jacqueline, hey Jacqueline, 25 days in lockdown now. Kept to keto for the past 11 days, but having wine in the evening. I have wine or spirits. I usually stick to it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yesterday I was having a virtual happy hour with my very good friend I've not seen in weeks. She lives here in town, but we've not been able to see each other. And so I decided I was using pandemic timing, Eastern pandemic time. So it was a little bit before 5. Shell writes, if I think of food, I go for a burger patty. Done. Can I tell you what I do? You eat a couple of boiled eggs and drink something, glass of water or tea or whatever, and wait 15 minutes. You don't need to eat anything else. And it's the perfect food. Lori Lee writes, oh my God, my hair is going to go back to the 70s if they don't open for 2 months. Can you see? I'm starting to get a little bit of a mullet here. Let's hope not. For years, I made fun of my mother because as she got older, she just kind of became a funny little person. And she would cut her own hair. She lived with us. I would gladly have taken her and paid for her getting her hair done. But she had a standing hair appointment for decades. And then for some reason she stopped. So she started just cutting her own hair. And not in front of a mirror. So, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm not worried about my hair. I'm worried about my hairdresser. Yeah, Jamie writes, I started the boiled egg thing. Yep, it works. I am going to need to pickle some eggs. You like my hair this length? Thanks, Shell. Well, I do have it kind of gummed down. I went up and got a bunch of goo because it tends to stick out. And I have cowlicks. Love your channel. Thank you. I used to do what I ate today, and I realized that was not necessarily helpful. But I will tell you what I ate yesterday. I had coffee with heavy cream, 3 mugs, 2 teaspoons of cream in each one. So that comes out to 2 tablespoons. And I got some cabbage leaves and a schmear of mayonnaise, salt and pepper, with 2 slices of American cheese. And I ate that. And actually, I think that's all I ate yesterday, which was not much. Today, I was beyond peckish mid-morning. So I cooked 4 breakfast link sausages. I think they were Smithfield. 4 breakfast link sausages. And I scrambled up 3 nice big eggs in some bacon fat. And I shaved off, I'm going to say it probably came out to be not even a 1/4 of an ounce of cream cheese in the scrambled eggs, covered it, turned it off, let the cream cheese kind of melt. And I put a little no sugar added ketchup on the plate. And that was what I ate. So that's a lot of calories right there. That's a lot of food. That doesn't mean that's what anyone else should eat. And that's one of my problems with people providing meal plans. I'm not going to do meal plans for people because then people think, well, that's the meal plan. So I need to plan to eat that. No, listen to here's the protocol. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Link below. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. No meal plan required. And by the way, page 4, link below. Any proceeds that Dr. Westman gets from the sale of that, which he gave away for 20 years, and people didn't value it, and they butchered it, and they republished it, and they did the wrong thing. Any proceeds he gets, he turns into to grants and studies of the protocol. He's just funding them himself. And now he's funding getting people into masks, having those made, and he's paying the stitchers. Sounds delicious. It was. And I don't need to eat anything else for a while. But I might have a hamburger patty with cheese. I might saute some mushrooms, or I may not. I might wrap it in cabbage, but usually not. I have ready to publish a movie on cooking beef liver. I really hesitate because so many people are skeeved out by liver. But I guess if they don't want, I can put a trigger alert. Trigger alert. This is about cooking liver. I went from not liking liver, and it's beef liver, although we do have some chicken livers here, from not liking beef liver to being able to tolerate it occasionally to now I actually crave it. And it's extremely nutritious. Organ meats are very nutritious. So anyway, we might have liver and onions and mushrooms. And I'll often make a sauce out of things like that. We were talking about that on the patron only stream. When I make sauces, it almost always is just a little bit of heavy cream, like a heavy cream in the pan after the juices are there, and a dollop of cream cheese. Put the lid on, super low simmer, let it just stir it up, and it's just a beautiful creamy sauce. Jen and her daughters made, what was it? Alfredo sauce. She said it was so much better than the jarred stuff. What was it, Jen? Cream cheese? Butter? Garlic? I can't remember. Baby back ribs. Nance is having baby back ribs. Shell writes, chicken liver is good too. Any organ meat is excellent. Okay, 686-2211. No, I'm not going to talk about those foods. My problem with certain foods is they seem keto friendly, and then they seem keto friendly, and then we overeat them. For example, and if it's fine, if it works for you, if it satisfies you and you like it and everything, I just am tired of thinking about food. So I like, what can I eat so I don't have to think about food anymore? Because I've got other things to think about, about my cruddy day. So I can concentrate on my cruddy day. Cauliflower pizza crust. Okay, great. Make a pizza crust with cauliflower. And then it's just cheese and meat, right? So that's great. Pizza. Well, the thing is, cauliflower is limited to pre-cooked about a cup a day. Well, I don't know how far a cup of processed cauliflower is going to go once you steam it and grind it up and pat it out. So if you make it pizza with cauliflower crust, and then you eat the pie, way too much. So my problem with those foods are, it's easy to get duped into thinking it's okay. I had my own oops moment with mayonnaise, and I was over-serving myself mayonnaise just because it's on the list. And I know, Jen, there's a line which you will not cross as far as mayo goes. Okay, so Jen, it's heavy cream, Parmesan cheese, butter, garlic, and spices to taste for the Alfredo sauce. And next, she and her girls are going to tackle hollandaise sauce. And that's a good way to use up a bunch of eggs, making some hollandaise sauce. When you overcook hard-boiled eggs, the yolks turn green on the outside. It's not overcooking them, I don't think. I think it's going to happen whether you even had soft-boiled eggs. It's the sulfur that interacts. It's if you let them last a while, because I will totally hard cook eggs and the yolks are beautiful and golden. I stick them in the fridge for a couple of days and the green, but I don't care. What do I care if it has green? It doesn't affect the taste. It's just a chemical process. If I keep boiled eggs in the fridge, the yolks get green, gray. Why is that? It's sulfur. It's a chemical reaction. It's almost like oxidation, but it does not impact the nutrition or the flavor. And I don't care. And if, it does not matter to me about it. Okay, Diane's health motivation. I'd love to see how you cook your liver. Mine is sometimes dry. Okay, so I'm going to publish the video and I'll probably get a bunch of yuck faces and lose, 30% of my subscribers. Oh, well, that's okay. Fortunately, my self-worth is not measured by the number of thumbs up or subscribers I have. Charlie, hey, Charlie, I spent some time yesterday. Oh, did you really, Charlie? How are you doing, friend? How are you doing? And you notice how I didn't say the word. Dr. Westman likes to goose me on that word. I'm not going to say it. Cynthia writes, so don't cook them too long. How long should I cook them? I don't think it matters whether you even have them undercooked, because I will sometimes cook the eggs and the yolk will still be really soft, not runny, but really soft. So they're not overcooked. The yolks are still going to turn if they last for a length of time. So what I do, and this is particularly true with fresh eggs, because of that bloom I was talking about before, the shells are less porous. Here's how I cook. I made a video on how to hard cook eggs. Maybe I'll link to it. But it's super simple. And this works for store-bought or fresh. Saucepan, water to the boil. As soon as it boils, put the eggs in gently. Bring the water back up to the boil. Let it boil for 12, 13, 14 minutes. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's, this is not precision science here. It's not the Hubble telescope. Turn the heat off. I pour the water out. I put some cold water in and some ice cubes in. And they peel perfectly every time. And even if I leave them in the shell, put them in the fridge, 3 days later, they're going to peel perfectly. I take them, crack them on the countertop, roll them like this, and it comes out in like 2 pieces. Does not stick to the egg. Okay, Nance, I know, and I know you love me. Charlie, you're doing okay. Good. Becca writes, the way I make pizza is just eggs, cheese, Italian spices, and pizza toppings. I do that, and frankly, sometimes I just don't even make a crust. I don't do it too much anymore now because it's just too much food. But I would just get a silpat, and I would sprinkle mozzarella cheese, drizzle some Rayo's marinara sauce. It's just really a couple of tablespoons kind of pushed around. Pepperonis, a little bit more cheese, a few more pepperonis, sprinkle more cheese, Italian seasoning, pop it under the broiler for 90 seconds. That's it. So I essentially just make the toppings. Aw, Mona, you're so kind. This is the only YouTube channel I follow, the Go Keto with Casey Club. You can be evaluated by thumbs up or number of followers indeed. As my husband says, Casey is our neighbor. Mona, did your husband say that? Does he? That is one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten. All the way from Istanbul. Mona's husband. Thank you. Okay, and Cynthia writes, I do a soft boil, not hard boil, for 7 minutes. I think on my fresh eggs, because the shells are non-porous, because they're fresh and they have the bloom, I don't think that would cook them enough. But I might try it out because I like soft cooked. I like them hot. I throw them in a bowl, a little bit of mayo, a measured amount now of, a little mustard, a measured amount now of mayo because I was way over serving. Some spices. Oh, so filling. Thank you, my friends. I am going to wrap up. I'm going to try to do a YouTube live from the pond again, but it'll be from my phone because when I go outside on the computer, it just doesn't work. I can't see the screen outside to look at comments, even in dark mode. So I might do it from the pond because a lot of people have commented that they are in apartment high rises and they can't get out. They don't hear the birds and they don't hear the water and they don't see the green. So as we can all try to a little bit of nature helps. Find your happy place, wherever that is. If you have a peaceful place, it might just be your bathroom where you soak in a tub, or you just go in the bathroom and close the door and everyone leaves you alone for a minute, or a place in your garden, or a favorite window seat, or your kitchen table, or staring at family photographs. Find a place to take a step back and breathe and concentrate. Now, our friend Nancy said, here's a surefire stress killer. Put your hands on top of your head and take 5 deep breaths. So Nancy is a nurse, but also her very good friend and someone who was going to be on our Alaska cruise and was on our cruise last March. Star is an energy medicine practitioner, and it's amazing. Energy medicine is amazing. So thanks, guys. I will see you next time. I will hope to see you by the pond. Maybe I'll get that liver movie up and let the unsubscribing begin. That's okay too. Mona, thank you for your kind words. And that really means a lot to me. And what Mona's talking about is there, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's not necessary, but you can actually join the Go Keto with Casey Club, air quotes, here on YouTube. And it's really a kindness. But also you can check out Go Keto with Casey, Patreon, Go Keto with Casey, which is a private patron-only thing where I do about 20 videos a month, plus patron-only live streams, plus patron-only video group sessions, plus one-on-ones depending on the pledge level. And it is a truly, as I've often said, people don't join to get access to me. I think they join to get access to each other. And you get to join the Go Keto with Casey Facebook group, super private, hidden, for only active members. I hope to see you next week, God willing, and the creek don't rise, or before then. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you allowing me to be part of your day.